What's happening, people? It's Vegan Geezer here, vlogging for Viva, reporting for Viva, with my man Tim Shieff. We're going to have a good chat here, all about athletes, about health, and how veganism ties it all in. How you doing, Tim?
I'm good, thanks Bob, thanks Vegan Geezer for having me, thank you Viva guys for viewing. Yeah, let's get into it. What do you want to ask me?
Oh, well, obviously you've been an athlete before going vegan.
Yeah.
What would you say, I know, like maybe like a top 5 things that changed in your body and mind, and that helped you as being an athlete?
Yeah, so I was a parkour athlete. I am a professional parkour athlete. Before I was vegan, I was, getting a bit older. It takes a lot of impact on the body. My knees started to ache a bit more in the winter, and I used to started to feel a bit heavier. And I got into veganism, and just within 2 or 3 days, I felt lighter. I felt clearer-minded. I was sleeping more sounder, and then beyond that, just mentally, and I felt more aligned with who I am. I'd walk down the street, and if it's a cold, wet night in England and I'd tread on a snail, I'd feel that crunch under my foot, and I'd go, oh, if only I was a bit more mindful and looked where I was stepping. And then I'd go inside and bang a slab of ham out the fridge and put it in a sandwich and eat it. And once I became aware of that hypocrisy, how can I be sad for a snail and yet just because I was the one that directly caused it, and I'm like, oh, I could have avoided that, and yet I'm going to pay someone I never knew to kill a pig that I never grew. Once I became aware of that, and I became aligned with that, and then I felt more of who I truly am. Like, we all have this sense of who we yearn to be, and who our family members don't see us as, but who we know we are inside, and I just became more of that person who I knew I was inside. Did
you notice your performance change? Because you started kind of changing through parkour, but then you got into your running as well, you started doing bouldering, different sorts of things. Yeah. Did you notice how it was really impacting your body and improving your performance?
Yeah, I just became a better athlete, well-rounded. I lost weight that wasn't necessary. I love having a good strength to weight ratio, and that just amplified with veganism. I got more efficient proteins from the fruits and vegetables, and I was more hydrated. My joints just felt more lubricated. I wasn't, when you eat this dead flesh, it just weighs you. It may strengthen you in the short term, but in the long term, and if you want longevity, which I think we all want, you've got to be more respectful in your dietary choices, and that was one way to do it for me.
Is there certain foods or anything that you noticed were really kind of upping it?
Yeah, I think it's trying to stay in the morning, stay hydrated and eat fruits and vegetables, more fruits and like watermelon and grapes in the morning before I train, and then afterwards in the evening I'd eat my carbs, my potatoes, my pastas, my avocados, and then you eat that after the end of the last session of the day or in the evening, and then you can fuel overnight. Your body can work on those carbs and get that in your system, and then the next day you wake up and again you go back to the hydrating fruits, and you just stay light throughout the day. And I think that's really an intelligent way to eat and train, is you don't eat heavy foods till after you finish training, and during the day you trust the night before's food is in your system, and you can utilize that from the fruit.
Yeah, because one thing I noticed, when I came across your video, and I didn't know you were a parkour athlete and that, the one thing you did address was the protein thing, because that is such a male stereotype that you need. Do you feel that that's kind of with more athletes on a vegan diet? Do you think that's changing the kind of male perspective?
Yeah, it's a myth. It's nothing but a myth. This whole protein comes from meat, or only comes from meat, and it's about time people wised up, because there's a lot of confusion out there about nutrition and all this stuff, and a lot of it is to tell good people good things about their bad habits. Meat tastes great. I get it. I like the smell of bacon. I still walk past McDonald's and it smells good to me. Like, whatever. I want to be told that that's good for me, of course, but when I really think about it and I know what goes on, and the truth of it all is, you can read every blog and watch every video on YouTube and read every book about diets on Atkins and paleo, and these are all maps, but they're not the way. That's not the journey. Like, you have to experience the different diets. Try Atkins, see how you feel. Try paleo, see how you feel. Try vegan, try high carb, low fat vegan, and see how you feel. And that's really, you can read all the maps you want, but until you've walked the path, you won't know what it feels like. And I've walked the paths, and this is the best one.
Yeah. I think, everyone I've seen or known that's kind of been an athlete and that they've improved it. Yeah. I guess the last question though is that you mentioned about the protein and stuff like that. Yeah. Do you still do the protein situation dance? Protein situation.
Memories, man. No, I'm over that. I'm done trying to tell people that. It speaks for itself. People, if they want to be better athletes, then they can look into it. If they're not ready to be better athletes, then keep doing what you're doing. But for me, everyone's waking up. There's so many footballers in America now. They're big NFL players they've got scientists coming in, nutrition specialists that actually know real nutrition and aren't just tell them good things about their bad habits. And they're coming in and they're showing them piss samples from past. This is a piss sample after you've eaten meat. This is a piss sample after you've eaten, and you can see and the differences and the science behind how you can see this is one is more nourishing for your body, and this one is just stripping your arteries and veins of valuable things. You know, it's the knowledge is getting out there, and finally people aren't afraid to tell people the truth about their bad habits.
All right, Tim. Well, it's been really good talking to you, man.
Yeah. We're doing rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, Viva.